We're at an amazing time, technologically speaking. We can do almost anything, whether it be connecting with thousands of people on our phones or doing online courses or having our Fitbits to track the steps and calories and sleep patterns and remind people, or at least in my case, that you needed more sleep last night. All the way to having artificial limbs that connect to the brain to work to replace the hands or legs that are lost. So all of this is amazing, and I have been in the healthcare field for over 20 years, almost 20 years, as a researcher and also teaching and working with professionals in various environments to either help improve their own lives and become their best selves and or to help improve patients' lives. And I've done that along the way of my journey where I started in college where I was going to be a pediatric surgeon. Obviously decided against that since I'm not a physician by training now. But I decided to marry the idea of science along with sociology to understand people as cultures and how we act with one another and what motivates us as well. And as a researcher, specifically in the healthcare field, where I've struggled a bit or seen challenges is I have read studies that have not been well thought out and are also studies that are biased, where people come in with a certain result that they want to achieve. So a study is set up in order to achieve that result. And from my perspective, with the goal and mission of really helping to improve patients' lives or people's lives and improving the healthcare system overall so people have access to treatments or medications, physicians get more time or clinicians get more time to talk to patients as people. That's been really important for me, of bringing the patient back into the medical experience. And that's where, leading to the discussion today of where I bring up there's 7 things every person should master. And with these 7 things, it's bringing it back to some of the things that people deem as basic, but I argue that are overlooked. Now, these 7 things, again, people say are basic, but they are reading, inquiry, flexible thinking and use of evidence, conversation, collaborations, engagement, and last of all, well-being. So each of these things build on one another. And if you can remember, what was the last time you actually sat down and read? And not just a blog post or a thing on LinkedIn, but a full newspaper article and took time. Or whether it be a Kindle or a book, or really just sat down to read. And being inquisitive, remember when you had the wonder of the world around you when you were a kid and you took time to ask questions what was happening around you. And I see this, I love this in my 2 boys that are 6 and 8 years old. They ask questions all the time, and my older one is into soccer, so he's reading books about soccer and asking questions about soccer games. And the Women's World Cup right now is great because he's learning about soccer that way. And the Men's World Cup last year, he learned from there. And my younger one he's interested in volcanoes. So he's looking into volcanoes, he's reading about them, he's asking questions, he wants to go visit them. They're being inquisitive. And those are only the first 2, but I think those alone are ones that we often as adults lose sight of really taking time to invest in ourselves to read, taking time to be inquisitive, inquiry, ask questions about what's going on, and not just toe the line of, well, it's always been this way. Well, why? Is there a way to change it or improve it? And those build on the flexible thinking and use of evidence. When you make decisions, it's not just a decision that's a knee-jerk decision, but you're using some of the reading and inquiry that you have to make those decisions and using different types of evidence to make those decisions. But all that leads into having conversations with people and collaborating and then being present and having presence when you're there to develop that engagement, all leading up to well-being as an individual. Now you may ask, what does this have to do with technology or the theme of the conversation we've been having the past couple of days and will continue about Into the Machine? Well, I argue it's very important because the way that we see things and the lens through which we view the world is based on our values. Because values define value. And if you're not working toward this lifelong mastery of these 7 things every person should master, the reading, the inquiry, the flexible thinking, use of evidence, the conversations, collaborations, engagement, and working on our own well-being. In my field in healthcare, the questions that you ask will not be as strong or as impactful as they could be. So if you work on these 7 things and make it your lifelong journey to work toward mastery of these 7 things, your end result is that much better. Because machines and technology, as amazing as they are, they don't have values. Humans do. And we're the ones putting information into those machines. We're the ones asking the questions to come out with information from those machines. And if we don't take time to ground ourselves and have clarity on our values and upfront define what value is, then we're not making the best use of our technology or machines. Because in the end, while technology and machines can totally help with the development and mastery of these 7 things, they can't replace them. It's up to us as humans, as individuals, to work on that. Because with our values defining value, that will result in what comes out of those machines. So I put to you, what are you doing on a daily or weekly basis for working toward mastery of these 7 things? Are you doing that? Because if you take time to do that, while I believe our advancements of technology and our use of machines is incredible, it can go to places beyond what we know is imaginable if we all work toward the mastery of these 7 things.